Everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant based diet going for yourselves today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further, balance out your physical body's pH level and to get with alkalinity, then you can generate some static electricity. Send me some love telepathically, set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So today I wanted to talk about timeless consciousness, patience, and stillness. Okay, so let's get into this. So yesterday I was talking about tachyonic energies and 0 point energy. And 0 point energy is pretty much naturally timeless, right? This is an energy that is beyond the time. So when you're able to access 0 point energy, which is within you, um, you come into a timeless consciousness, right? So there's a consciousness that is within time, and there's a consciousness that is timeless, okay? Because time is purely conceptual, and consciousness is all existent, all non existent, okay? It's both, all right? So, consciousness is everything and nothing at the exact same time. So this basically means that you can have awareness within, or awareness can manifest the the concept of time, right? So we're living in the concept of time, right? Right now, it's the phone's recording, and there's a time to it, right? There's a clock ticking. There's a digital time in my mind, right? There's different times, there's different combinations of times that we use to pretty much keep an order to things, right? The time is it's kind of like a navigational tool. The clock is like this. We're using it for order, right? But you can slip out of this. You can slip out of the time consciousness into a timeless consciousness, and this is where you're going to be able to liberate yourself from the world. And the world is the entanglement, right? Maya, the illusory world, is the entanglement, and this is where you're going to find yourself in various different sufferings, right? Or various different degrees of suffering, which can also lead you to the very path as well to liberating yourself from the world. But time time consciousness is very different from a timeless consciousness. When you're in the timeless consciousness, everything is more opened up vibrationally. So things are eternal in their nature, and eternity um is a timelessness, right? So when you come to experience eternity, which when you experience eternity, then you're touching upon a timelessness. And within that dimension of awareness, or the multidimensionality of this, of the consciousness that is timeless, then you can expand or grow into those very dimensions, and you can integrate them into your life, even if you're in the world. And you can kind of remain in the world, but you can stay detached, right? Um, and you kind of stop entangling yourself with unnecessary realities, unnecessary space times, right? And that's traveling the multiverse. The moment that you can expand yourself out throughout many different space times that are all existing at once through distancing yourself and receding into deeper dimensions of the mind, then you can traverse that that configuration of the multiverse, which is multiple space-time continuums existing at once, right? Which is what it is. So you are able to pick and choose which ones you want to experience through the currency of awareness. So you use use the attention, use your attention like a currency, right? So let's say you have this template or this configuration of the or this vision or this plane of existence of the multiverse, right? You can quite easily with your third eye see many space-time continuums within this network, right? And by acting according to what you have put your attention to when it comes to a specific space-time continuum, you can then manifest it for yourself, right? So this is why you want to get into non-action, so that you don't have to find yourself in any in any space-time continuum. You don't want to get entangled in anything, right? So um, this is why you would want to practice, or you would just want to come into a state of being rather than getting entangled in karma that has been given to you, because a lot of the karmic body has been given to you by your karmic predecessors, right? And people who are keeping you in debt as well, right? When it comes to currencies, not only physical material currencies, but even attention, things like this, right? Because they're keeping us in vessels that are extremely capable, but also kept, in a very in a lower intelligence. So you need to understand that being rather than just acting is more ideal for coming into a centrality or a center. The center of being is how you come into the timeless consciousness, right? Time consciousness, you're gonna find yourself entangling with the world more, and you don't want to get caught in complex. You don't want to get caught in complexities, because it can keep it can keep you it can keep you in needless attachments to things that aren't supporting you, or aren't keeping you in a blissful state, right? But you can always see it as what is needed to be able to learn from this, right? Um, so you can flow into it and eventually come to a point where you're able to break into an expansion, and within the expansion you can come into the centrality, or you can come into the center of being, where you're able to liberate from entanglement, which is keeping you bounded to flesh, right? So the boundary of the flesh can easily be dissolved away through coming into the flow more often, right? There's multiple different ways to dissolve the boundaries, dissolve the ego, but getting in tune with the universal flow is the simplest, right? Uh, because we're already in the flow. So all you got to do is make a shift of awareness. All you got to do is put a little bit of effort in to shift the awareness into the realized state, or the state of realizing the universal flow, right? Which is all there is to it. And in order to do that, you got to just observe yourself more often, and come within yourself, right? Um, and then that tiny shift of awareness into the state of realization of the universal flow is all that you're going to need for dissolving away the boundaries of the flesh, or the dissolving away the concept of ego. And then you can come into a timeless consciousness, which is where the fun really is, because in the timeless consciousness, you're able to travel the cosmos, right? You're able to travel the astral realm, um, and death is transcended, right? And a lot of the illusory fear that people feel comes from the illusion of death, right? So if there was no death, then people wouldn't be fearing anything, because death is the ultimate fear, right? If you fear crossing the road because you're going to get hit by a car, then you're actually just fearing death. And the root of the fear is death. So if there was no death, you wouldn't really fear anything. You would just continue, right? And you would live more in the heart, which is where timelessness is. So once you are able to come into the timeless state of awareness, death can be transcended because it actually doesn't exist. And it's just that the ego carries the concept, right? Or even so that they're in the same dimension of intelligence. And when you are able to receive the consciousness to deeper dimensions of the mind, then the two aren't, you're no longer identified with the two conceptual realities or conceptual illusions. So then you can kind of come into a deeper dimension of awareness, mind, and touch upon the center of your being, where you're going to be able to come into a timeless consciousness, right? Transcendence of death. You can travel the astral realm. You can come to know your past lives, right? You can come to know different species of beings, right? Plenty of different things to be able to do, right? But it's all experiential, and it's beyond language as well a lot of the time. So you have to experience, right? Because it's a timelessness. Time is more of a logical nature, where timelessness is more of a creative nature, right? So you need to immersify experientially in order to be able to come into the timeless state of awareness. But once you're able to dissolve away the concept of time efficiently, then you're able to come into the state of enlightenment, right? Liberation and timelessness, consciousness, right? So it's going to be it for today's video. I do thank everybody for watching. Once again, peace out, one love, and have a great evening.